Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Lotus Blossom Dolls here, and today we are beginning a very large project. So this is a Mary Ellen doll that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. She's in pretty rough shape. She has scuff marks, she's got ink on the side of her face. She's been very heavily played with. She's got a little spot on her cheek right there. She has a white mark right there. She's so dirty. She's got a white mark on this hand as well. Some random stain there. Her hair is really dry. It's all matted. So this doll is going to become my custom American Girl for a project that I've been talking about and wanting to work on for a long time. So this is a lot of the stuff I've acquired so far for my custom Country Bear musical Jamboree doll. So if you don't know, this is a show at Walt Disney World, and I'm going to be making my own custom version of the outfit that the bears, Bunny, Bubble, and Beulah are wearing. So this is my sketch. This is my friend Disney Barbie Girl's sketch of the same outfit. This is sort of my rough idea. I'm also going to insert a picture here of what the bears look like, so you can see the comparison of like kind of the idea and vibe I'm going for. And I'm going to show you the stuff I've acquired so far, what I'm sort of thinking, and then I'm going to have to custom make all the patterns for this because I don't think they exist. So this is going to be a lot of trial and error. I have lots and lots of fabric though, so we can make things a couple times if we need to. So this is the base peachy color that I got for the fabric for the main body of the outfit. I also acquired the Truly Me 2-in-1 Glam Pink Cowgirl outfit because I thought I might be able to use the hat or the shoes or the belt from it because they kind of match the vibe I'm going for. However, I don't know if I actually will end up using these or if I'll end up making my own. That is still yet to be determined, but this is the peachy fabric that I got for the main body of the outfit. And then a lot of the outfit also has some white accents, so I got this white fabric as well. And then I thought this pink felt might be a nice touch as well, so I grabbed some of this as well. We have 3 cowgirl hats that do fit on the dolls. They're really close in size to this one. I might custom these. I did get some fabric paint as well, so I can make a custom pink color to match whatever color I end up doing. If this color is too peachy, I might re-dye this fabric as well. I haven't decided yet. I also got 2 packages of like these clear silvery crystals. And then I got a big package of all the multicolor crystals, so I can use the pinks or the reds or the oranges or the silvers out of this as well, just so I have some variety. I also got some white ribbon and some peachy colored ribbon, which I think will look good. And then I got some white extra fine glitter. This is more of like a Prisma glitter. This stuff is like impossible to get out if you spill it, but I think it will look really cute, so I grabbed some of this as well. The things that I'm currently missing, I want like a type of trim that is just like what you would use to make like a necklace, and I'm also missing some white and or glittery white tulle for the underskirt. So I'm gonna go break down this drawing with you and I'll explain what we're gonna kind of aim for. So I'm gonna custom her face. I'm gonna repaint her. I'm gonna add blushing, I'm gonna add eyelashes, I'm gonna add eyeshadow, I'm gonna add freckles, I'm gonna add some blush. I don't know how heavy I'm gonna get yet with it, but we'll see how much of her face makeup I have to take off when I am cleaning her up. I'm gonna make her a little neck scarf. I'd like anything that's shaded darker to be a pink color. I'm gonna do a vest. I don't know if I'm gonna go with Disney Barbie Girls design because I love this little like tie in the front. That's really cute. But we're gonna do sort of a like bubble cuff sleeve with a collar and then a ruffle at the bottom. And it's gonna be sort of a crop top. There's gonna be a little bit of a gap. And then we're gonna have a vest with either fringe on the bottom or like maybe a cow print on it. If there is a cow print, it'll probably be pink. And then little arm cuffs with a fringe ideally as well, and some little stars. I want the little stars to be glittery, so that's where the white glitter is gonna probably come in. And then we're gonna do sort of like I'm not gonna use denim, it's too thick for this, but a denim style skirt where it's cut kind of close to the body and then has like a ruffle out, and then is held up by layers of tulle underneath to give that volume. And then some little knee-high socks, maybe some layered knee-high socks, and then some little cowgirl boots with a little heel would be really cute as well. And then I also think it'd be really cute to custom make a big old Texas style belt buckle or like Western style belt buckle. And then the hat should have some sort of ribbon like along the edging here. So yeah, that's the design, that's the idea. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, just to show you what I'm doing really quick, I'm taking this tulle. I have two pieces. I've got a pink piece and a white piece that are folded over each other right now. They're both glittery. And I'm sewing a little channel between them, which is essentially making 4 pieces of tulle folded over each other. And I'm making a little channel so that I can put some elastic in this as well. This is an obscene amount of tulle. This is like 6 yards of tulle folded over itself. And I'm gonna gather this to make the like poofy part of her skirt. I can't guarantee that this will be like the best construction I've ever done, but we're giving it a shot. This was a tutorial I found on how to make like a baby tutu because it was roughly the same size. So we're gonna see how this goes. And just so you can see just how much tulle this is so much tulle. Now I did use a piece of pink and a piece of white. This may be too pink. I may end up having to redo this with 2 pieces of white, but we're gonna give this a shot first and see how this looks. So it appears I have dramatically underestimated the amount of ribbon I would need and trim for this project. So I've already used this entire spool of this like pink velvet ribbon, and I've just done the first layer and I've run out. I only have about a yard left on this to do, but that means the spool only had 5 yards on it. So I will need 2 more of these to be able to finish, because this is how much I've done already, but the plan is to do this side and then also do this side. So I will need just as much for this side, and then I also need the rest to finish what I don't have enough of. So I guess I'm gonna finish what I have, and then we'll probably switch gears and start working on something else for a little bit until I can get to the store and get more of this ribbon. Alright, another progress update. So I just finished making the pattern pieces for the skirt. So I was doing a little bit of math. I made a circle skirt that is quite small. It might still be too long, but I'm hoping it's not. I took the measurement based off of the tulle. So the idea is that this will sit above like that. So how I want this to kind of work is I want this to be sort of the actual skirt piece, like around the body, and then this to kind of just flare straight out from it, like straight out, and then sit on top of the tulle. So if I did my measurement right, this should sit like inside this piece essentially. So I'm going to cut 4 of this. This has seam allowance already, and I'm going to cut 2 of this in the fold, which also already has seam allowance in it. I'm going to leave the back open on both to add a big piece of Velcro, which I did purchase because normally I don't like using Velcro, but I figured because American Girl generally uses Velcro. I bought some Velcro. I might cut it in half. It's kind of thick, so we'll see. But yeah, so we're gonna cut these out of this pink fabric. And then we're gonna sew that together. This fabric looks way darker on camera than it looks in real life. Alright, so I will be back once I've cut these pieces out. Alright, so we now have our two circle pieces, our two half circle pieces, I guess. Our front waistband and our back waistband. I cut this piece in half to be able to sew or put the elastic, or sorry, not elastic, put the Velcro in. And I'm gonna leave one of these open to line up with that as well. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm gonna start sewing this together, but I just wanted to give you a quick progress shot of this. I'm also debating, I guess it doesn't really matter, but before I sew too much, potentially adding in crystals, because these have to be ironed on, so I'm scared of doing them later. I also want to add on some belt loops to this, but those are probably just gonna have to get hand sewn because I think that this is gonna be too small of a piece to do that comfortably on without just hand sewing it. I might even glue them, to be honest. So as a reminder of our concept, we're working on like the upper piece of the skirt and then like this panel as well. And then we'll start doing a belt buckle. I don't know if I should have cut this at more of a point, but I think it'll make the skirt sit funny. I don't really know yet. So we're gonna try this, and if I don't like it, we can always redo it. But yeah, this is where we're at so far, and well, let's get to sewing. So the first thing I'm gonna do is sew the two halves of the circle skirt together. Good sides together, and then we're gonna sew this outside seam, and then we're gonna attach the waistband. Alright, so I'm almost done with the hem. This is not the prettiest hem in the world, and I will be having to trim a little bit of it, but it gets the job done. Alright, so here's the circle part done. At least the hem is done. It does need to be ironed. Now we're going to take the waistband pieces. I've put the good sides together, and we're going to sew these down together, and then we're going to do the other side as well. Alright, so I got both sides of this sewn down. Now we're going to attach this to the middle. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to hem one side of it, and then we will attach it to the middle. I think that'll be easier. Hold on just a sec. We'll be right back. Alright, so a little progress update. We have pinned the skirt down, and we're now sewing the waistband to the skirt, good sides in. I did sew the skirt closed as a circle to make it a little bit easier for me to manage, and I am going to sew a little bit of a hem on this middle gap, and then we're going to attach the Velcro. So yeah. So we're going to use Miss Molly as a model, so I added the Velcro. I have not sewn it down yet because I want to make sure that this fits, but I have the skirt attached, and we're gonna try popping it on her and seeing how this fits. Alright, so here's the progress. It's looking pretty good so far. It's a little bit on the tight side, but I think sewn down it'll live. And then this is gonna be the underlayer with an elastic. And I'm adding 2 layers of ribbon because when I gather it, I can use the ribbon to sort of like make it more floofy, if that makes any sense. So we're gonna sew the Velcros down onto this outer layer now, and then I think we're gonna decide what we want to do about the belt and potentially bedazzling this. So final update before I stop for the night. I got tired of all the edges fraying, so I used some quick dry fabric glue to seal everything in, and hopefully I can just trim off these little bits that are annoying me after it's all dry tomorrow. But yeah, it looks really cute. I'm excited. We're gonna let this dry for a bit and then we will come back tomorrow. Quick little progress update on the skirt. I used some of this glitter fabric paint and some Prismaglitter, and I added little cow print to the skirt. I also glued on some ribbon onto the top to make little belt loops. I'm probably gonna add more ribbon, but I wanted to do this glittery step before I did add any more ribbon. So this is what it's looking like so far. We're letting the glue finish drying because it's still kind of wet. You can tell what it's gonna look like because this one is the only one that's dry. But yeah, I'll be back in a little bit once this is fully dry. Alright, so now we're gonna start making the vest. I did go to Michael's and I got some trim for this. So I'm gonna start with this white fabric. I'm gonna cut two sets of this because I'm gonna do an inner layer and an outer layer. So this does not come with seam allowances. It's meant to be a no-sew pattern, but I'm gonna be sewing it. So I'm gonna leave a little bit around all the edges and I'm gonna cut this out, and I'm gonna like cut some little darts into this to make this easier to sew. And I'll be back when I've got both pieces cut out. So here are my two pattern pieces cut out, and this is the pattern. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is I'm gonna sew the inside of the neck hole, the arms, around the edge down here. I'm gonna attach the trim at the bottom, and then I'm gonna fold it inside out, and I'm gonna attach the shoulders and sew that closed and together. I think that'll be the easiest way to do this. So I will be back in a minute. Okay, so progress. I got the sides, the armhole, and the neck hole all done. I did not sew along the top here because I'm going to use that to turn it inside out. And I decided not to sew the bottom because I decided I'm going to flip it the other way first, and then I'm going to put the trim in, and I'm going to iron everything down to make it easier when it's folded the right way, and then I'm going to iron the seams onto it to make it a little easier as well. So I'm going to go do that and I will be right back. Alright, just so you can see what a difference this makes, this is the before. I'm going to use this iron on hot, I'm going to add some water, and then I'm going to press it, and I'll show you what it looks like after. Alright, so I have it all pressed now. I also pressed in the bottom seam to make sewing the trim in a little bit easier. I'm gonna pin it in. I might have to trim a little bit off, pun intended. So I'm gonna go do that, and I will be right back. Here it is all pinned together. So now we're gonna just sew a straight stitch along the bottom. I'm gonna take the pins out, and then we're gonna sew the two top pieces together, good sides together, and that'll be the end of the actual sewing part of this. And then the next step is going to be decorating this. I think I'm going to try to add cow print to it, but I don't know if I'm going to make it white or pink yet, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, so a little update. I got the bottom sewn down, and I got this top shoulder pieces sewn together. These are the ugly bit from turning it inside out. I am going to trim these and glue them down so that they don't fray anymore. But before I do that, I'm going to trim it, and I'm going to press this down shut like this, just so that it sits a little bit better. But yeah, this is the vest base completed. We are going to be decorating it, but I just wanted to show y'all. It's a turning out really cute. I'm really happy about it. So I'm gonna go trim that and I'm gonna press it and I'll be right back. All right, so now I have done a little bit of designing and I've modified a couple of different blouse patterns to make the top for the outfit I'm going for. So this is going to be the back piece, this is going to be the front, these are going to be the collar, there's going to be 4 because there's going to be an inside and outside, these are the sleeves, and then these are the cuffs for the sleeves. I am hopeful that this will not be too difficult. I'm going to cut all of these out of this pink fabric and then I will be right back. Alright, so we got all the pieces cut out. We've got the front pieces, the back pieces, the collar, the sleeves, and the cuffs for the sleeves. So now we're going to start with the collar. I'm going to pin some stuff together and then we're going to start sewing. Alright, so as an update, I have pressed and sewn together the front and back for the outside and the inside. This is the seam. I also glued it down so that it wouldn't fray. And then this is the yoke. I sewed along 3 of the edges and then I folded it back in on itself. I pressed it and now I've pinned it. Okay, this made more sense to my brain. So I have the collar pinned in between both layers, the lining layer and the front layer. Both of them are good sides together with the collar in the middle. I'm gonna sew along this piece right here, and then I'm gonna flip the inner, like the lining layer inside. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Alright, so here it is all sewn together and pressed. I'm going to sew these inside out and then flip it right side out for all of the lining pieces. And then we're going to attach the sleeves and do our little gather on the bottom. But I'm excited, this is turning out cute. I'm not great at collars, so don't judge me too hard. Take my advice with a grain of salt. I'm not great at collars, but I'm not mad at this. It turned out pretty cute. Okay, now for the sleeves, I've taken the sleeve piece, I sewed a single stitch along the bottom, and I pressed the cuff so that there is a 2 pieces, so it just folds in on itself basically. So now I'm going to pin the gathered bottom of the sleeve into the cuff, and then I'm going to sew that down. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other sleeve, and just to show you how easy this is, you literally just don't fix either end of your stitch, and then you take one thread and you pull it and it'll gather the cuff. Alright, so ignore the watermarks on this. I just finished ironing it, but my iron was off, so it wasn't as hot as it should be. But I just finished sewing the sleeves in. I did not film this, but this was an absolutely nightmare of a process. I had to sew them down right sides together, and then I had to roll the whole sleeve in on itself into the side with the collar, and then I had to pin down the inside to do the inside lining layer seam, and then I had to pull the whole piece through itself, which was so difficult. Would not recommend. That was really hard and scary, but we did it. It looks really good. There's like a couple spots where my seams on the inside are giving up, which is frustrating me, so probably gonna add a little bit of glue to that. But yeah, what's left, we're gonna sew down these edges, sew down the bottom, we're gonna add some Velcro to the back, sew down here as well, and then we're gonna add either a gathering stitch or a piece of elastic along the front and bottom so that it like gathers. But I'm excited, it's looking cute. I'm gonna take a little break and I will be back in a little bit. Alright, so I thought I'd do a quick progress check of what I've done so far for the outfit. So this is the skirt. I added this bottom layer of ribbon and this ribbon on the bottom here as well. I also added these cute little gems, and I ran the belt through the belt loops that I made. And the glitter glue paint stuff is still not fully dry, so I think that's going to take a while, but it is better than it was. It is touchable now. We have the boots from that other outfit. The belt is also from that outfit. And then for the hat, I made like a little hat band, and I just finished ironing on some little gems to it. And we have like a little lace bow in the back, which I thought was cute. Oh, but I just added these little sparkly gems. I'm debating adding pearls to this as well. I don't know how much is too much at this moment. I'm also debating adding like a layer of fringe to it, but I'm scared with how much I've already done. It's gonna feel like too much. I tightened the skirt a little bit because it was a little too big. I also started working on a white version, but seeing all the pieces together with the like pinkier stuff, I think it'll look good. I finished the shirt with the collar. I do need to iron it again, but it turned out really cute. I added a piece of elastic to the bottom to gather this and just have it fit a little bit better. And then the vest still needs decorations. I'm on the fence about what to do. I'm debating just like bedazzling the whole thing in little tiny pearls. But I also could add like a cow print to it to match the skirt and do like a pink cow print on it. I think both would look cute, but I'm kind of leaning towards just bedazzling it. But I'm also like, that would take so long. So that's where we are so far. We're gonna start working on Mary Ellen here. I have tried it on her just to make sure the pieces fit, but she is disgusting, so she needs a bath. So we're gonna start that process next. Alright, so we have Mary Ellen here. She's in pretty rough shape. She's got marker on her face, she's got a spot on her forehead, her legs are just covered in marks and pen. And so we're gonna give her a really good scrub and we're gonna wash her hair, see how much of this comes off, and then depending on how much comes off, we're also going to have to do a benzoyl peroxide treatment on her marker spots, but we're gonna see how much I can get off without that first. So without further ado, enjoy the time lapse. Alright everyone, welcome back. So I have Mary Ellen here. She's all cleaned up. Her hair is dry. She's looking so much better. I wouldn't even believe this is the same doll, honestly. She just looks so much better. I got all the spots off of her. I didn't even have to do a benzoyl peroxide treatment, which I expected to have to do. She does have some damage, as I was expecting, because she was very heavily played with. But I am planning on like fully customizing her, so I'm not too worried about the little bits. Like, she's got like a little spot missing on her lipstick. I'm gonna have to repaint her lips, and there's like a little bit of texture where there was scratches on her face and I got them off. But yeah, so what we're gonna do now is I'm going to curl her hair, because I'm not trying to keep her as Mary Ellen. I'm trying to make her into a custom doll. So I want her to have giant like 80s style voluminous country singer hair. So I'm gonna be doing really tiny, really tight ringlets. So this is gonna be a tutorial for like those really small, really tight ringlets. So let's get started. Alright, so my first piece of advice for this, if you're trying to get really tight, small ringlets, is to use smaller pieces of hair. I'm also going to be using pipe cleaners as my curlers. I also recommend using perm papers. If you've never curled with a perm paper before, it makes all the difference. So what you're going to do is you're going to take, I like to use paper towels, but you can also use tissue paper. And I separate the paper towel into single ply, and then I cut it up into little tiny pieces. And then these are great for reusing. So these I already used before in a couple videos. But essentially you're going to take the piece of hair, you're going to fold in thirds over the piece of hair, and then you're going to pull it all the way down to the end, and it keeps all the end pieces of the hair together so that when you go to curl it, you don't lose any of your ends and don't have any funky or wonky looking ends sticking out the back. So you can tell Marielle's hair had a little bit of curl in it before. My oil wash did not fully remove it, which is good. So I'm gonna start curling all these and I will show you the progress. So as an update, this is a hot mess. So we've got a ton of flyaways that I don't know what to do with that didn't make it into the curlers. I actually ran out of perm papers. That's how many of these I've done. There's so many little tiny curls in her hair and I still have so much hair left. So we're gonna keep going, but I just wanted to give you a quick update. This is how she looks right now. But yeah, it's going. It's a slow process. It's very tedious. The curls are kind of messy, but good. But it's one of those things where you really have to trust the process. I know for like what I'm doing, because I'm gonna brush her curls out and fluff them up, these like little bit of flyaways aren't probably gonna matter. If you were gonna leave them in ringlets, this would matter a lot more, but I'm not going to, so it should be fine. Alright, so this is gonna be this process. I would also normally also take off her lip or her cheek paint and her eyebrows. However, I'm not always great at drawing doll eyebrows, so I don't know how much I particularly care about removing them. I'm not too worried about this being perfect because my plan is to go in and texture her skin a little bit. So I'm not like super worried about it being perfect, but I just want the bulk of it off. I'm trying to decide if I want to take her little inside her mouth paint out, but I don't really think it's necessary to. I just need it off her lips. Alright, so that's good enough for now. I'm now going to take some Mr. Super Clear and I'm going to spray this in 3 really thin coats and let it fully dry between each layer, and then I'm going to start the painting process. So I'm going to do that off camera because that's going to take a while to dry, and I will be back when the 3 layers of Mr. Super Clear are on the doll. Alright, so welcome back. I didn't record a lot of this because I was hunched over like a little goblin trying to get close enough to the doll to see this, but I wanted to show you the progress. We're sort of at the trust the process stage. So what I've done so far is I've given her black eyeliner and I've started the pink layer of her eyeline. But I need more Mr. Super Clear because this side got enough, but this side didn't, so it didn't stick super well. I added a layer of freckles across her bridge that were slightly bigger, but she does have little tiny like face marks all over. She has about 6 layers of lip color on right now. I'm pretty happy with where it's at right now, so this may be where I stop with the lip color. I might touch up her teeth, but I don't know, they're not really bad. And then I've been working on her hands and her arms. I'm blushing them as well. I started adding fingernail pink color to them and to her knees and her toes as well. So she's looking super cute. But yeah, I just covered her hair in saran wrap so the Mr. Super Clear wouldn't hurt her hair. But yeah, I would recommend if you are going to do this yourself to take her eyes out before you do the Mr. Super Clear. I've just been really careful in making sure her eyes are closed before I started. I did blush the inside of her eyes a little bit and like around her eyelid as well. I need to add a little bit more pink here, I'm noticing in camera. The blush isn't super even, but like in real people, blush is not super even, so I'm not like too stressed about it. I think from a distance it looks good. I just will keep slowly adding layers. But yeah, this is where we're at right now. I am gonna high gloss her lips when we're done, but I'm waiting till the end to do that. And I'm gonna go over her eye makeup, ideally with acrylic as well. So I'm also waiting to do that till I get it to where I'm happy with it with the colored pencils. And I am planning on adding a whole bunch of like super tiny glitter to her, but I'm gonna wait until closer to the end to do that as well. So yeah, this is the update. I will try to show you another update. I did stain her a little bit, her body. Some of my acrylic that was on the back of my hand when I was painting her dripped, and I was like, oh no! So that's what that is, in case you were wondering. Yeah, she's looking cute, and I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, welcome back. So as you can see, I have changed some things. So I wasn't super happy with the first round of makeup I did, so I wiped everything off and I started over. And so this is the progress we've made so far. I've re-added the freckles, I added some glitter, I redrew her base of her eyebrows in, and I redrew her lips in. I also added the first layer of blushing to her face. So now I'm gonna go spray her again, and I'm gonna start working on her eye makeup once it's dry, and doing some more blushing, and probably adding some more glitter, and maybe working on her eyebrows some more, but we'll see. But I just wanted to give you a quick progress shot and just remind everyone that it's okay if you don't do everything perfect on the first try. You can start over, you can try again and again, and eventually you'll get something that you're happy with. And it's okay to start over if you're not 100% happy with what you've got so far. So I'm gonna go spray her and I will be back. Alright, so we got the next layer done. I'm not currently sure how I feel about it, but we're gonna trust the process and keep going. And if I hate it, then we'll start over again. So I added some paint to her lips, and I did a second layer of blush on her cheeks and on her nose. I added a second color of freckles. I added a pink layer of eyeshadow and a brown layer of dusted pigment as like a socket shadow. And then I added some lines to her eyebrows. So we're gonna go seal this layer, and then we'll be back and we'll start painting on her eye makeup. We'll probably do another layer on her eyebrows. I glittered her eyelids. I might do another layer of glitter on this one. I'll clean up the eyelashes after, but I just wanted the glitter on her eyelids. And then I think I'm gonna add some glitter up here, but I don't know if I want to do that before or after I add the eyelashes. So we're gonna go spray her down again. Alright, so I'm back. So I added some more glitter. I think I might have gone a little overboard on the glitter, but that's okay. I painted her freckles, not all of them, but a lot of them to make them a little darker. I added a white layer over her pink and I glittered it. I added some white to her eyebrows, and I painted on some upper eyelashes, and then her eyelids are glittered. So she's pretty much done. The only things I want to add are I want to add a clear shiny coat to her mouth, and I want to add some fake eyelashes to her eyelashes, and I need to give her a final seal. But I don't currently have any shiny clear coat. I thought I had two different ones and I have neither, so I have to go get some. And so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna go get some fake eyelashes to attach to her. I'm on the fence about adding a bottom lash, but I think I'm okay without it. I think it looks good. So we're gonna give her a final coat. I might add a tiny bit more glitter, like how it's condensed on this side under this eye. But yeah, she's pretty much done. So I just wanted to show you. The next time you see her, she won't have this little hair cover on anymore. If you're curious about the supplies I was using some really old school Prismacolors from when I was in high school. I was told that the formula changed, so I don't know if I'd recommend them. I also sometimes use these pastel pencils, or I use these polychromos pencils. For my blushing, I've been using these chalk pastels, but I would recommend pan pastels instead of these. These are kind of annoying to work with, and the pigment's not super even. And then for paints, I've been using a mixture of these Army Painter paints and Citadel paints because they're already pretty thin and they're acrylic, so you can use any acrylic you want, but those are just what I like to use. And I am watering them down more than they are at the beginning. So yeah, I also, if I didn't show it, I also did her fingernails, and I added freckles and blushing to her whole body. So she's pretty much done, and I'm really excited to do the final reveal and pull the whole outfit together. I have been bedazzling the back of the vest, and I finally got the gems in, so I'm gonna finish that today. And we're gonna wrap this project up, so I'm excited to show you the finished results. Alright, welcome back. So I've put her in some of her outfit, but you don't get to see it yet. And I'm going to start taking her curlers out. And I'm just gonna show you clips of that process because this is gonna take probably an hour. But I'm gonna take one out, I'll show you what the curl looks like, and then we will be rocking and rolling. I'm trying to model her hair after Dolly Parton, so I will try to insert a picture here of the hairstyle I'm kind of going for, but I'm gonna start taking her curlers out and I'm gonna show you what it looks like as we go. Alright, so I've taken my first couple out just so you can kind of see what it's looking like. I did try to alternate the direction that the curls are facing so that they wouldn't just become one giant curl, but I'm gonna keep taking them out. I just wanted to give you a little preview of how it's going. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm already so excited about how cute this is turning out. This is insane. Oh, I'm so excited, but we still have a million to go, so I'm gonna keep going. Alright, y'all, I've only gotten about a third of this done, and I'm already obsessed with how fluffy and curly this is. I'm so excited. So we're gonna keep going, but I just wanted to stop and show y'all, look how cute this is. Alright, back to taking them out. Alright, we're probably about halfway, maybe 2/3 of the way done. Her hair is so fluffy and beautiful. She's looking gorgeous. I'm super excited. So I just wanted to give you another little quick update. I'm not sure 100% how I'm going to style it, maybe something like that, where I pull a couple pieces back, but it's looking so cute. So I'm going to finish the rest of it, and then I will be back to show you the final result. Alright, with the last of the curlers out, we are now done with her hair. So I'm gonna just do a quick little 360 so you can see how cute this is. I'm gonna do a tiny bit of styling, but with that, we are ready to show y'all the grand reveal. So I hope you're excited. Alright, so here's the reveal. She's absolutely stunning. I can't tell you how obsessed I am with her. Her face turned out so cute and so beautiful. And I love how her hat turned out, like, that's darling. Her little curls are perfect. I added a whole bunch of details to her vest. And I made these little fringe cuffs. I added some boot bling to her boots, and I ordered some socks off Etsy. But she just looks stunning. Like, she is the moment, and I am so happy with her. And I just had to share with y'all how cute she is. Her curls are like perfect too. They're so fluffy and beautiful. I'm gonna show you what the back of her vest looks like. I'm bedazzled a CB for Country Bears with some little pearls, which you can't even see with her hair, but it's so cute, and I love that that little detail is there. I love how the cow print turned out on her skirt. I love how her, like, basically everything turned out. It's so cute. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed the process. Please leave a like and comment if you enjoyed this video or if you want to see more videos. I will do a part 2 for this where I take her into the Magic Kingdom and take her to go watch the Country Bear musical Jamboree. So if you want to see that, please don't forget to subscribe. And I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye, YouTube!
Grizzled old grizzlies singing a little country, a little western, and a whole lot of everything in between. So get those paws tapping and those claws clapping for 5 bears who need no introduction, but I'll give them one anyway. Let's hear it for the 5 Bear Runs! Hit it, boys! And now, sweeter than a hive full of honey, it's our very own Trixie and the talented trio, Bunny, Bubbles, and Beulah. Or is it Beulah, Bunny, and Bubbles? Well, any way you count it, they're triple the fun. Okay, boys, now why don't we try something a little different? How about a love song, man?
Where you see her sitting there across the way, she don't got a lot to say, but there's something about her, and you don't know why. You're dying to try, you wanna kiss the girl. Everybody now.
Where'd he come from?
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide?
I can open your eyes, take you under that wonder, over, sideways, and under. Honey, magic, paradise, a whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you. Y'all swing by and see me sometime.
I would, but I'm scared of heights. And I'm scared of swings. You know, it might surprise you to learn that our next performer is still an eligible bachelor.
Is it the clumpy way he walks?
Or the grumpy way he talks?
Or the pear-shaped, square-shaped weirdness of his feet? And though we know he washes well, he always ends up sort of smelly.
But you'll never meet a fella who's as sensitive as sweet. Everyone's a bit of a fixer-upper, that's what it's all about. We hate each other, raise us up and round us out. Everyone's a bit of a fixer-upper, when push comes to shove. You don't need a fixer-upper, fixer that'll fix a fixer-upper is true.
Remember me. Though I had to say goodbye, remember me. Just don't let it make you cry. Too sad, I can't go home.
Poor curtains!
Well, folks, I'd say that's a rendition we'll remember for a long time. You've got a friend in need.
You got a friend in me.
Hiya, Sammy. You've got problems.
I got two.
There isn't anything I wouldn't do. We stick together, we can see it through, 'cause you've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me.
Oh, say, Henry, why don't we invite all our friends out there to join us for the finale?
Great idea, Sammy. Hey, gang! What the? Okay, well, that's
Bear trap.
Well, folks, this concludes our show. As you can see, we're still barely keeping it together. Now gather up all your bare necessities and exit out the doors on your right. What do you say, Sammy?
I say, y'all come back, yeah?
We hope that you'll be coming back in. That you'll drop in and see us now and then. We've done our very best to please with just the bare necessities. We hope that you'll be coming back in. Come again. Come again.
The welcome mat is always out, 'cause seeing you is fine.